All right, you happy campers, welcome to Don Carter State Park, located in Gainesville, Georgia, up in the north part of Georgia, right on Lake Lanier. It's actually on one of the fingers of Lake Lanier, and Gainesville is on Lake Lanier as well. Pretty cool little town, a lot of good restaurants and shops if you get bored of the state park atmosphere, but you'll probably be quite busy at this state park. There's tons to do. But we're heading towards the camp store and the camping check-in area. And you can see this is a nice wide road, lots of camper parking on the side. And the turnaround is really big, so there's no worry of getting stuck or trying to have to back your camper set up out of here. You can make a really good turnaround, and like I said, lots of good parking. But the camp store is actually one of the better stores I've seen at all the Georgia state parks. They've got a ton of stuff in there, lots of good souvenirs, and then all the essentials you need if you forgot anything. And the park manager and the ranger and all the workers are great. You'll really enjoy talking with them. They got a lot of good knowledge. But we're doing the turnaround. Once we get to this stop sign, we're gonna turn left towards the campground. If you turn right, there's a horse trailer area with a big fenced in area to put your horses, and there's a second boat ramp and a beach that's on Lake Lanier. We turned left, obviously, and there's a little bit of a road to get to the campground, and there's two entrances to the campground. We're going to take the first entrance, and I'll show you campsites 1 through 18. And then towards the middle of the video, we're going to exit out the second entrance. And you can come in that entrance as well, but you'll see it during the video. The stay was a little bit not the best weather. The first day we were there, it was nice and sunny. And then this day was raining pretty good all day. But me and my daughter made the best of it and had a lot of fun. We ended up going into Helen, which is a cool town in Georgia. It's German theme, but we're going to take a left here, and these are sites 1 through 18, and this section has its own bathhouse. You can see straight in front of us, and you'll get a couple better looks at it. And then the camp host, I think there's 3 camp hosts is off to the right, their site right there with the golf cart. But as you go down this road, if you notice, there's a bit of a downhill, and then there's more campsites down there. All the campsites are really nice, but you're a little bit away from the bathhouse, and I don't believe many of these sites have full hookup. So if you got to use the bathhouse, you got a little bit of a trek. You can see the downhill here, but the sites at the very end have a great view of Lake Lanier. So you got to sacrifice being close to the bathhouse to have that great view, or you can go on the other loop and see if the sites accommodate what you're looking for. But all in all, the campground is great. All the facilities have been really clean. Everyone's been friendly and nice. Not a whole lot of people camping this weekend. This was the last weekend in January we were there, so not too long ago. But was definitely not that full. A lot of the roads are one way, so just pay attention to the arrows. But this site right here at the end is a really nice site, and I believe you probably get about a 30-foot camper in there, and then have a great view. You can see the beach off to the distance. We didn't go to the beach because it wasn't beach weather. And the lake's really murky right now. With all the rain we've been getting, all the clay is washed into the lake, and it's just gotten a really muddy, mucky look to it. It's actually pretty hard to fish in. We fished earlier, and we didn't get any bites or anything. But this is the uphill I was talking about. So if you're in those sites down there, 3 through 12, you've got a little bit of an uphill to get to the bathhouse. So if you don't mind walking it or riding up there, then they're great sites down there. But again, those are all 3 through 12 is on the downhill side of it. We're going to come up the hill and go on the other side of the bathhouse. There's 2 handicap sites there. I believe they're full hookup and very close to the bathhouse. You'll see here in a second. All the sites are paved. The roads are all paved. They're very level, which is really nice because this is a pretty hilly area. So the fact that you're pretty level on most of these sites, you might have a little uphill to get into the site, but the majority of the sites are really level. This is another cool thing. The dump station has 2 lanes, so you can get through the dump station pretty quick. You can see it's wet right now, and there's a puddle of poo by each of the dump stations, so you just kind of got to figure out how to not step in it. There's the dumpsters right there, and I'm going to give you a better look of the front of the bathhouse and the dump stations here in a second. There's a men's and a women's side and a laundry facility in there. Cool little borrow a book box and bike lockup stand. And then here are the 2 dump stations again. Very clean dump stations. The hoses were in good condition, very clean and nice looking. So having 2 lanes like that will definitely get you through fast. And then we're going to take a right here and go to 19 through 46 sites. And this is the second time we've stayed here. The first time we stayed in site 44, and I'll tell you about that site in a minute. And then this trip we stayed in 33, and we were in the enclosed hunting cabin again. My daughter actually got drawn for a youth quota hunt, so we wanted to get the full experience and took the enclosed trailer. And you'll see that later in the video. But 44 is a little bit of a tight spot to get in because there's these decorative walls and you got to go between them. I don't spend too much time looking at it, but you'll see it as we go by. I think that's the only site that's like that. And here is the bathhouse in Loop 2. Again, men's and women's. There's 2 separate family stalls and then laundry. We're going on the back side here, and these are sites 23 to 26 on the back side of the bathhouse. And we'll come around the loop, and then I'll go to the other side of the bathhouse, and there's the other sites there. At the end of this road we're on, if you were to take a right, that's the second entrance or exit to this part of the campground. We're going to take a left and go up and show you more sites. But those sites in front of us are pretty nice as well. All of them are roomy, have plenty of room. You don't feel like you're on top of each other. They have really nice fire pits and picnic areas. Like I said, we were in site 33 this time, and the site was huge. I could easily fit our 35-foot fifth wheel and the truck and probably another vehicle. I mean, they're just really big sites. We were right next to the bathhouse. It was like a 50-yard walk to get to the bathhouse, if that, maybe even less. If you get to the campground at night, it's a little bit confusing trying to find your campsite with all the one-way roads and the 2 entrances. But hopefully this video will help you navigate the campground if it's your first time going. There's a cool little pavilion in the middle of the campground. You can have picnics, and there's little barbecue stands in there that are really nice. We're going down to the far portion of the second loop, which is a little ways away from the bathhouse, but it's not too bad. It's not as far as the first loop when we were down by the water. But it's actually a really big campground, very spread out. For having 46 campsites, it's pretty big. And if camping's not your thing, they have these really nice cabins. I'm not sure of the price of them, but they're huge. We actually stayed in one of the cabins a few years ago for a Thanksgiving, and they're 2-bedroom, I think they're 2-bedroom or 4-bedroom cabins. I can't remember now, but they were really nice. But since we've got the camper, we haven't really stayed in any of them. cool little thing, you'll see this ambulance off to the right. That's actually one of the camp hosts, and that's his podcast. It's Worst Day, Best Day. Check him out. They also have a YouTube, but he's a retired first responder, and him and his family are living in their camper and interviewing military, first responders, police, firefighters, and it's a pretty neat podcast. We ran into them as they were cleaning the bathhouse, and seemed like a really nice family. So check them out. Pretty neat podcast. But we're coming down. You've already seen this going the other way, but we're coming to the exit, and we're going to go look at my campsite now. We're in Site 33, and we're in the enclosed trailer hunt cabin. It's me and my daughter. She got drawn for a quota hunt, small game quota hunt in North Georgia. So I want to point out, this is super cool. This is for gray water. When your tanks fill up, you just put your gray water hose in there and you can dump your gray water. All the sites have 50 and 30 amp. But this site is huge. You could fit a 45-foot fifth wheel in here easily. And this is our camp. It's a little bit of a mess. Coffee's brewing. My bed. My daughter's bed. The next time you see a video of the camper, there's going to be a drawer here and some shelves and not this big mess. And I'll finally put the other panel in. It's a little bit wet today. And the bathhouse is right behind us. I wanted to show you guys these two sites. They're crazy. So 37 is kind of a smaller site. You definitely don't want a 30-foot camper in here. I would say like 20 to 25 foot. There's this cool little parking spot. And then Site 38 is huge. Look at the size of this. You could fit a 200-foot long camper in here. And then there's another campsite on the other side of it. So you really could have two buddies camping here with you. Let me zoom in. And there's another site right there. Let's walk down and see what that site number is. Not a huge site, but you definitely could fit a 25, potentially 30-foot camper if you had the back all the way to the stop. And then your vehicle. But this is huge. And this one is just a massive site. There's a couple of them like this. There's one on the other side of this little pavilion that you see in the distance. That pavilion's pretty cool. There's like a little barbecue up there, a bunch of picnic tables. But the site on the opposite side of that is another huge site. All right, so this is one of the boat ramps, and I had said there's two. The far one that's not on the campground side is for day use. So if you're just coming to use the boat ramp at the state park, you'd use the far one. This one is for all the people staying at the campground or in the cabins. And this is for overnight use. So I believe you can tie your boat up to the pier that's down here. But I just wanted to give you a look at what the boat ramp and the part of the lake looks like. Again, we're on one of the fingers. We're not on the main body of the lake, but it's a pretty nice looking lake. You can see the murky water. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and leave a comment if you want to see other things. Leave a like and subscribe. Have a great one.